I'm Laura, and I produced To the New Girl. Welcome to our first Instagram Live. I'm going to try to add Miss Samantha Macher to this. I can do it. Okay, we're getting there. Hello, Sam.
Hi, how's it going?
Hello, we did it. Technology.
We figured it out.
Oh my goodness. That's very exciting. I thought that was going to take at least 3 tries, so it didn't.
We did
How
it
are
on the first shot.
I said, how are you?
Pretty good for 10 o'clock at night. Feeling nice and perky, awake.
Good. Sorry, it's so late.
Not as make-upped as I probably should have.
I have this ring light. I'm sorry. It's the actress. It never leaves. Cool. So basically what we're doing is these live weekly interviews with members of Team New Girl, and obviously it made sense to start with you since you wrote it.
I did indeed. That's
Not
what I
everybody
keep hearing. Ugh. Cool. Sorry, what did you just say? I'm getting distracted by I can send a comment and someone, A.S. Young, that's Miss Amanda from my old office, waved at me and I was trying to wave back at her and I am having trouble figuring that out.
Don't stretch too far on the technology because it could all fall apart at any moment.
Oh, wait, let's see. Hello.
Well, I think she knows now that you're trying to say hello. You could just say hi without having to like push buttons, and that would be easier.
Yeah, probably. Oh, and my husband joined, and your husband joined.
Yeah,
that's good. Hello, gentlemen.
All right, I'm gonna ask you questions now.
Great.
Are you
I'm ready. I'm emotionally ready for this. I'm like kind of sweaty, but also ready.
Well, all right. It's summer, right? Okay, so
that's what they say. Time has no meaning.
It doesn't anyway. It's fine. Not just now. Introduce yourself and tell me how you became involved with this project.
Okay. It's like a very ontological question, like the origins of To the New Girl are within my.
Or also maybe talk a little bit about how you got into writing and theater and those things.
All right. Well, I'm Sam Macher. I wrote To the New Girl, the film, and I'm trying to think. I think I've always been a playwright, which is different from any other kind of writer. And I look back. I have proof of this because when I was 7 or 8, we had to write books for school, and all the other kids would write settings and a narrative arc for their characters, and mine were short stories that were just my dog and my bird talking to each other and insulting each other. So when I go back all the way to the origins of my writing, I'm yep, I've always been a playwright. But I think what kind of kicked me into it in high gear, you weren't there because you had just graduated. So Laura and I have known each other since high school. Laura, my senior year, we were supposed to have a spring musical.
Right.
And you had graduated, and they canceled the spring musical due to I think lack of talent. Because Laura left, and there was just me and a bunch of people who couldn't really sing maybe very well. Huh?
You sing?
I do sing, yeah, sometimes.
I do it right now. The school just sort of was careening off a cliff.
Careening off a bridge at that point. And our musical, was it Mr. Hughes left, and so everything kind of fell apart. And so I was really mad that I didn't get to be in a spring play or a musical specifically because I've been waiting my whole high school career for it. So I wrote a musical out of spite.
I don't think I've ever even read this. Have you seen it?
Oh my God. Ariel, our dear friend Ariel was in it and starred in it and was just fantastic. But I think I recruited literally all my friends. My friend Jordan was in it, my friend Haley was in it, and Katrina was in it. Everybody I knew was in it. And
Were you in it?
No. I never, which is like the stupidest thing of all time. It's like I wrote this musical to be like in a musical and then just wound up directing and producing it.
That's what happened.
Which is basically the story of my entire.
Yeah.
And yours too.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah. So this particular play is like a culmination of like years and years and years of like writing practice. And at that point, I think I wrote it when I was like 25 or 26. I just moved out to LA. I was working for Sky Pilot Theater Company. I was a playwright in residence there. And the play was actually put forward as a balance for their season to incorporate a little bit more gender parity into the roles that were available. We had a very male-heavy, like actor-heavy season, and we wanted to get something for all the fantastic women in the company to be a part of. So I wrote, I pitched the idea at like our first like big writers meeting. I was like, how about a 10-woman monologue show about women giving advice to their husbands' mistresses? And I'd written like 1 or 2 sketches, and everyone was like, yes to that. So I sat in on like all the Sky Pilot Theater Company auditions and got a good sense of what the range of talent was in our company. It was really rich talent pool to pull from. And then just spent the next couple months working with No Shame Theater down Roanoke and the Playwrights Lab at Hollins University to develop these monologues for these actors out in LA, so that when I moved out there the following summer after I graduated, the show was kind of ready to go. And the reason I was joking or saying like the life of an actor, Laura, you were supposed to, Laura is our producer who like took the film and ran with it, but was supposed to be in it. Was supposed to be in it.
Well, yeah, because initially I was like, oh, I'm not acting in anything. I need to like give myself something to be in, and that was like part of the impetus to do it, which I think is why a lot of actors get into producing. And then I just realized like, no, like there's no way. Well, it's impossible just timing wise, and like on set you kind of like lose some authority, I think, when you become the actor. And like we were so tight when we shot this. It was like 3 days, and like we had no time for like anything to go wrong, and of course things still go wrong. And I think when I think about like post-production, I think I'm so glad that I wasn't in it, because I think if like I've seen it like 300 times, and I think if I had to watch myself that many, I mean, I hate watching myself anyway, so it's like that would have driven me absolutely insane. Maybe one day I'll be in something that we do together, but I don't even know. I kind of enjoy not acting.
It's kind of funny that you mentioned that. It's like it's a totally different expression of that same creative impulse to like be behind the camera and do that kind of work. So it's like it's just as exciting and just as creative, and in a lot of ways, maybe not necessarily more than acting, but you're able to put like your stamp on the vision from end to end when you're producing your own work. I don't know. So that's always, so I feel like you're just as much, it's kind of funny. You're not in it, but you're in it everywhere. Like,
no, I feel it.
Yeah, you definitely are.
No,
it's like funny because like by now I've been with this play now.
Yeah. Well, oh gosh, you've seen how many times have you seen this performed? The play. You don't know. Okay.
Probably 30 or something.
That's a lot.
Not 30 different productions, but I've probably been to 5 or 6 productions of it live. But I go multiple nights most of the time because the play is double cast. They typically do either more than one person plays different roles, or like they do 10 different actors on 10 different actors 10 different nights. And it's valuable as a writer, especially because I think all plays are kind of works in progress. You can continue to adjust them as they go. To see how different actors interpret your work, it's a good way to think about not necessarily like how do you write for a variety of people, but like how do different people respond to the text. So I've seen it a lot, and I've been in rehearsal with it a lot too. So by the time we got to the film, I like couldn't bear the thought of watching it anymore. And
you're already.
I was like, I know the script inside, outside, upside down, and backward, but seeing the film version was a completely different, beautiful experience.
I'll never forget the first time that we watched like the very first cut
Mm-hmm.
of the movie, and this is what, like 2 years ago, probably now.
I was in my
I,
old apartment. It's gonna be like 3 years ago.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had flown back east, and I had like a very rough cut, and it was like all these, like somehow I had like put in the ear of the wonderful girl who edited this, that we wanted like I don't know, road noises.
Oh
So,
yeah, the honking cut. Yeah.
just so many different noises, and all throughout the whole like hour and a half movie was just like horns, and we like couldn't focus on anything. We're like, this is terrible, what did we do? But luckily those are gone now, and now we have beautiful music, and it's
Less like there's a 12-car pileup on the 10 outside.
It definitely, yeah, it sounded like someone was like dying outside. There were ambulances. Yeah, it was not good.
Probably from me driving the unit van around. Wear so many hats in independent film.
Oh yeah, what a wonderful transportation captain. I thought you did a really great job. That was so fun.
I'm super happy it's on my IMDb. I really feel like it shows a lot of versatility.
There's like almost nothing I enjoy more than like putting like a little like weird IMDb credit for someone. Or like when I put in our special thanks, I put them all on IMDb, and some of them don't have IMDb accounts, and now
So
they
you made them
because of me. And I'm like, that's right. I did.
I was grateful that you changed the spelling of my last name back to Macher instead of Macher.
I forgot about that.
I was like, thank God for Laura. No one thinks I'm Scottish anymore. I'm like, the Macher clan died.
Oh no. Okay, wait. I had one thing that you said that I wanted to ask you about. Oh, you said playwriting is different than any other kind of writing. Why?
Because it relies so much on the way people talk to each other. I think a lot more like you're building your world based on conversations you're having, and the way that we have conversations with people change radically from relationship to relationship. So in like a high context relationship, you're not going to have nearly the amount of exposition. You're not going to be explaining the who, what, when, where, and why like that you would maybe in a novel for an audience member who's not in the know. When you go to see a play, you're plopped into the world of that relationship, often without a lot of context. You have to be thinking constantly about why this day, why now, why this moment is the audience invited in. And I think that was something actually that you did really, really well as a producer, and the directors did really well about creating To the New Girl as an open mic, because it kind of solved that problem for me. Like, why are all these women just unloading randomly right now, aside from maybe feeling like it's a good opportunity to all get together and bash their exes. But to have like an open mic night conceit was genius, I think, in a lot of ways, because it provided that where that plays really, or the why that plays really need to be successful.
Yeah, that makes sense. I also just love the idea. You know what? One of the things that made me want to do the open mic thing was that I love Mortified. Have you ever seen that?
Oh yeah, it's a Moth, isn't it?
Oh, what?
Did the Moth produce Mortified? I forget now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Mortified. When people read their like middle school diaries.
Yes. Ooh. I'm obsessed with it. It's hilarious. Like, I would never be able to do it, but I love watching it. I just think it's so funny, and like they're all so good, and it's like then they're reading it as adults, so like you see that they've like overcome it in the way it's great. But I do remember like thinking like that was why, you know, I thought, oh, it would be cool to have it be like an open mic. But I also kind of hope that like some chick somewhere is like, I'm gonna make this an open mic in my town where we all go. Maybe that's a terrible idea. Maybe I shouldn't be like,
I think it's awesome.
Amazing. I will fly to wherever, as long as the pandemic is mostly over, and watch anybody who wants to do an open mic night to the New Girl. I don't know how they like, you know, credit us for that, but they don't have to.
Do they need to? I'm like,
we don't care.
I don't really care. I think, you know, it's kind of fun. Over the years, this play has been used, not used, it has been produced usually in collaboration with like domestic abuse shelters and things like that. So I don't know, like I always say to people, I'm like, if you want to produce this play and donate the royalties to something like, a domestic abuse shelter or something, call my publisher, because I'm like, to me, it makes a difference.
Yeah, I understand that for sure. Okay, what was my next question? Oh, I was gonna ask what. I love that I'm like, just to be. Hi.
Great face.
What have you been doing during the quarantines to keep yourself busy?
What have I been doing? I downloaded Duolingo and I'm polishing up my German. Let's see, I'm gardening, which is nice. I have 1,000 plants that I'm now micromanaging now that I can't project manage for a job. I'm on furlough from my day job, so heads up. And I'm spending a lot of time with my husband and my sheltie, and we're cooking and we're bonding and we're walking and walking and walking. Bridget like hides from us now. She's like, these jerks are gonna try to take me for another walk. I can't bear it. But yeah, it's been kind of nice.
When are you going back to work, guys?
She's like, yeah, when are you guys? It's like, when are you out of here?
Yes,
and I've been writing a little bit. I kept a journal for a while. And then my writers group reconvened recently, so we're all kind of jumping in together to start working on whatever projects we're working on. So right now I'm doing like a ghost story, like a more traditional like ghost story. But now as soon as I started writing it, I'm like, oh, it's a film and it's an animated film. And this is what it's going to look like. And I sent it to you today. So enjoy.
And so next week we'll have it animated and
well, yeah, like you should talk about the Echo too.
That's kind of maybe we can do it.
That's the other thing we've been doing in the quarantine.
Like quality time. What else was I going to ask you? Oh, what's your favorite monologue from the movie?
My favorite.
Come on.
Oh man, like choose one of your children. I don't know. Let's see. Like children that you're kind of scared of. Bethany, I think, she's always like such a crowd pleaser. I think she's funny and dry and I don't know, just kind of like the right amount of mean. Whenever I hear it delivered, it like every actress who's ever done it, I'm always like, that was perfect, and I don't know why. It must speak really well. And then of course Harriet, our closing monologue. It's very hard to top that one. I wrote that one with my grandmother in mind, so it's always got a very sentimental value to it as well. So yeah, what about you? What's your favorite one?
I think the one that I like gravitate towards to the most is Faye, because she feels like that could have easily been me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm like, oh no, I'm like kindred with that person. Like I get that life path.
Yeah.
Which like is not my life experience at all, but like feels like it could have been. So.
Could have been. You never know. With worse choices, any of these could have been our lives.
Right, yes.
And sometimes
that's great. It's universal. Okay, what's a piece of advice you have for other women in film?
I think these types of things I always just say, I wrote about this on my LinkedIn the other day. I was like, well, keep all your work because you never know, right place, right time, right script can make something happen with that just by sheer I saw this short film contest and you know what, I had a film that worked just fine for that, or my friend wants to make a great reel for their whatever, I can ship over this monologue. So make sure that you're hanging on to your work and that when you're cultivating collaborations that you're not burning any bridges, that you're making sure like with the right people, with your good friends, with your good collaborators, because you want people to think of you over and over and over again as like being competent and not flaky and as well as talented. But I will say like my just ability, like my tenacity, I guess, has gotten me a lot further than my talent. My ability to take
a lot of people, yeah,
my take notes, work hard, do the rewrites, do the edits, raise the money, drive the unit van.
Learn how to drive a van. First,
learn how to drive
you'll
a
be
Springer van.
invaluable on a set of all women. You'd be the most.
You gotta do something. Well, especially as the writer, like once I got there, I'm like, what do I do?
You were the supervisor.
That's true. I was a script supervisor.
Wear many hats. That's a good piece of advice about keeping all your work, though.
Keep all your work. You never know when it's going to be useful.
Well done. Good advice. Okay. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Boy, wow. Should have prepped me. I
wanted to get your gut reaction. It doesn't have to be the best movie. It could just be the movie you've watched the most times. Because I think that's your favorite. I think people always want to answer their favorite movie with Citizen Kane.
No, it's not Citizen Kane. Psycho probably is one of my favorites, and the Terminator. I don't know why I forgot the Terminator. The Terminator 2 is my it's just a badass woman doing crazy cool shit. Really tight script. Really powerhouse performances from everyone, and it also has a little bit of heart. And Psycho, because I think that was the first scary movie I ever saw.
Yeah.
And my mom made me watch it. She's like, "You're gonna love this," and I'm 8. So why my mom is showing me Psycho?
Perfect.
I don't know. I think it really probably shaped who I am in terms of loving those old crazy movies and and learning just so much about that directorial style. I wound up taking a film class on Hitchcock in college, kind of on the memory of that, and
yeah.
I think Hitchcock shows up in random places in my own writing too. I think War Bride, one of my plays, one of the reviewers afterward came and talked to me. They're like, "Oh, it's very Hitchcockian in a lot of ways with suspense." And I was like, "That's the best compliment I've ever gotten. Thank you." Can you put that in your review? And they're like, "No," and I'm like, "That's okay.
You tried. Sorry.
We tried.
Okay, so my last question was, what else are you working on that you want to promote? So we could also talk about The Echo.
Sure. I think The Echo is a great one. So once upon a time, my friend was having a birthday party, and the only thing he asked for a present from all of us that were it's my friend Todd Ristaw at Hollins.
I wondered, because it's the top of the script. Okay, I got it now.
Yeah. Was that we all write him no shame pieces. So for those of you uninitiated in the ways of no shame theater, it's basically a format where it's kind of like an open mic in a lot of ways. You bring your original work. It has to be 5 minutes or less. You can't break anything while you're doing it. And you go up and you try out your work, your brand new work for the thing. So he asked all of us to kind of, or he didn't ask us. I think someone in my cohort from grad school solicited these no shame pieces to send to him. And so I wrote The Echo, which is about two snails one is grappling with the meaning of life, and the other is kind of blithely ignoring it because their lived experience is such that they don't need to entertain the ramblings of the young snail.
Right. Yeah.
And I sent this script to you, I guess a long time ago, but then a couple months ago again to be you're like, "Do you have an animated script I could do?" And I'm like, "This one's weird."
This is a thing. Well, yeah, because I really wanted to make something during this period where we couldn't go anywhere, more just for my own sanity and feeling oh, things can still happen. I can still be productive. And I also was thinking oh, it'd be nice to cast actors in something, because I'm sure everybody's bored and what can we do? And I've never done anything animated, and it seems now's the time. So that was fun. It was nice, and we got these two really great actors who already recorded everything, and it's really quick turnaround. And I don't know, especially after I think however many years it's been of New Girl, I was like, oh, I kept saying I want to do something really short and quick after New Girl, and I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm going to write this short and quick, but the situation sometimes when there's limitations, I feel really motivated to do stuff then, because it seems good things come out of that. So we'll see what happens, but kind of fun.
Well, I think that's constraints are always maximize creativity, because you're always working around how do you achieve what you want to achieve with the stuff you got. So what do you do with what you got, or whatever it is.
Yeah. And then I guess we also want to tell people go and if you want to pre-order to The New Girl, it's available for pre-order on Vimeo now, and the link is in our Instagram bio. Support independent films.
Yeah, and you get a bunch of goodies if you buy early, right? You get like a
Yeah.
party pack and like our
Yeah.
director
Like
or producer writer commentary.
Yes, so you'll get more of this
So
conversation.
if you like this, boy, are you gonna want to pre-order that?
You could have an hour.
Have an hour of us talking. Frankly, this is going a lot better than I would have imagined. We should do this all the time.
Yeah, we're great at this. We should do it every day. People.
I'll wear makeup next time, though.
The other
Be
thing
a
that
less
it
hot
has is like a party pack, and I put like some themed drink recipes together for people to like watch. Because I would love, like, my dream for this is that like girls or whoever, but probably girls, like after a breakup or whatever, like get together for a girls' night and like watch this movie and have a glass of whatever and have a good time, laugh, enjoy themselves, learn.
Laugh, cry, have a catharsis.
Mm-hmm.
All
exactly. All right. Well, is there anything else we should talk about?
I got nothing. This is like, I'm amazed I'm this animated at a 10. But yeah, this has been fun.
Well, thanks for kicking off our Instagram live series, I guess. We're gonna try and do this every Thursday from now until the film comes out, and then hopefully we can do something like this on the night that the film releases, and that will probably be the next time you and I get it together to
That'll be fun. I'm excited about that. We'll do like a virtual premiere.
Yeah, we can make some of the drinks and have a little party, which is nice because everybody's just having a virtual party right now anyway.
Hey, it fits the times.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you. I'll see you guys. I'll see you soon.